online. Wanna be online.
Yeah, put it on the line.
What?
Going online now.
Oh my God, we're doing this again.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's better than the
well, it's in my head now.
better than the accents.
Accent.
Accents.
what do you mean accent? I don't have an accent.
Yes, all very accurate.
Welcome to the live stream, everybody.
Yep, we're gonna make dumb noises for the first 20 seconds.
That's how we check the levels.
It is. Yeah.
No, it isn't. We don't bother with checking the
We're
level.
always checking the levels.
Yeah, we're just hot mic.
Tweet.
Hot mic. Where's that tweet? There's that tweet.
There it is.
Retweet, like, subscribe.
Mm-hmm. Get it?
What?
The tweet.
I got it.
Okay.
That's liked and retweeted.
Well, that's great news.
It is.
Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God, get on So good.
Get all in the crevasses. Don't forget the.
Don't forget the.
I hope one day I get to meet Patrick Warburton
Warburton.
and get him to rate my Patrick Warburton impression.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
I
Why
bet.
would you even think that's a good accent?
I bet he loves it.
I'm gonna punch you in the neck just for doing that.
Yeah.
Well, you can't do it at that one con because he canceled.
Right. He canceled
canceled.
MegaCon.
Mm-hmm.
Son of a bitch.
Yep.
So,
Oh. Yep.
how were
Hashtag,
everyone's weekends?
Fine. Fine. We're all fine here. How are you?
This weekend.
Deadly Force.
Bears.
Of course, we live in a constant time continuum. There is no weekend.
Oh.
Says you. Says you. What are you doing? My weekend was fine.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
My Friday was real good.
Yeah, what'd you do Friday?
I went to this place.
He went to the t-shirt place.
Ooh, you went to Le Pinball Palace.
I did, and then I saw a concert.
In Brunswick.
Saw Blendy Grass.
I saw Blendy Grass. Yeah,
Ah, yes. You saw.
Gangsta Grass.
That's it.
Is that the name of the group, or is it?
Mhm.
Okay.
It's the name of the man.
Well, no, the man that put it together is named Wrench.
Gangsta Grass's Monster.
His name is Wrench.
Wrench, but not spelled like. No, there's no W.
Not spelled like there's no W, so WRENCH.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He's like the glue that started it all.
So not the wrench that holds it together.
No. It'd
Okay.
be the nuts and bolts that would hold it together.
He's the wrench that puts the nuts and bolts.
Yeah, he's
of
the one that tightens all them
Gangsta
nuts
Grass
together. Tighten your nuts.
Tighten your nut.
Yeah.
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 Tighten your nut.
I mean, there's several incarnations of this band, but there is a Paste magazine session where they play like 3 songs. That's the exact lineup that I saw live. So
okay.
if you want the most accurate representation,
How was it?
it was awesome. It was a weird venue,
You saw it in Savannah?
just south of Savannah, Richmond Hill. It's like a suburb of Savannah.
Richmond Hill?
But it was like this like Irish pub, and it was just they had a big room and like no stage. It was just like there was like a slightly elevated section above another, but I was sitting like front and center, like literally. But yeah, it was like just sit down at tables and turn your chair and watch them.
Weird.
Yeah, but it was fun.
Were there many people there?
I think they are probably used to pulling bigger crowds because they're probably used to going bigger locations. So I would not suspect they would ever return to that establishment. But
Estimate the number of people that were in attendance.
or so. It wasn't a very large place.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
He should have just come to Jacksonville.
Yeah. I mean, I actually started to say, like, if you're gonna play small places like this, come to
Jackrabbits,
Jackrabbits,
or
yeah.
Nighthawks, or
Yeah.
1904, or
Yeah. It was like if you're gonna play little dives like this, like, I bet you could fill Jackrabbits
Mhm.
easily.
maybe he did market research and was like, I have a concentrated fan base just south of Savannah, Georgia.
Perhaps.
I will go there.
The coolest thing about it is, like, he sent me a link to secret download their first album, which is not available anywhere.
Oh yeah, that's cool because
Yeah. I
didn't
had
get
like
the
a
entire thing,
partial,
right?
like
Yeah.
somehow I don't know how, like I got it way back when they first dropped it, and it was like I somehow only had like 5 or 6 songs off of a 22 track CD. So and I was like, hey, I know you can't sell it or you don't sell it, like you got a line on your first album because I've been a fan since then. He basically, what's your email? Sent me a thing right from his
You got a
phone.
line on that first album of yours.
Yeah.
Well, there were samples they didn't clear because it was like a
Oh,
demo
right.
type thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they could give it away like way back in the day, but they can't sell it.
Sure.
Gotcha. So you guys just hang out and pound beers after the show?
I probably could have hung out for longer, but I was like, hey, it's 10 o'clock. I'm old, and I got to drive 2 hours. So I was like, I went and shook their hands, and it's like, it's a great show.
They were like, thanks a lot,
Bought
man.
some vinyl and left.
Nice. Got a vinyl of some of their newer work?
Mhm.
Sweet. I'm sure they appreciated that. That paid for their gas.
Yeah, I mean, people were buying shit. Like the people that were in there were into it. So like
That's
their merch table was popping.
The people weren't confused. They're like, wait, what's this show?
the people that worked at the establishment seemed very confused.
Oh, I would imagine, yes.
Like the server, the server. Yeah, I guess that's the gender neutral term.
Yeah, server.
Like, because this place was like really trusting. Like, because like I ordered a couple beers and then like they came by, like, because I was there, like I got there in time to watch the opening band too. Which most people didn't. I felt real bad for them, but they were local, so no big whoop for them. But yeah, and so like about almost all the way through their set, I ordered some food, and then I was like, because I'm sitting by myself, I'm like, I kind of want to get up and walk away, and she's like, yeah, no worry. I was like, do you want my card? Do you want to do a tab? She's like, don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, I'm not leaving. I got an armband. I'm here for the show. Like, but yeah, like when I went to pay after it was all over. She was like, what do you think of the show? I was like, it's awesome. I've been wanting to see him live for a long time. She was like, yeah, it was interesting. I'm like,
oh,
that's-
yeah,
that's
that's
code
the
for-
code where, oh my God.
Well, they usually get like fiddles and
Sure.
there was a fiddle.
They had a
okay.
fiddle?
Yeah.
different kind of fiddle. I mean,
Yeah. Fiddle
more
and a banjo.
more fiddly-dee than
yeah, fiddle-dee,
than
not
fiddly-dee.
And not, right.
No, I got to show you the picture of the fiddle player because
You don't
he was
have to.
fucking awesome. I don't have to. I'm gonna.
Good.
Saying like this is the.
I bet you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too.
Are you? Do you fiddle about?
A little bit.
Like just not the kind of dude you expect to play a bluegrass fiddle. On the right. But that dude fucking wailed on it, and the banjo player was badass too.
So this gentleman in the center is Wrench.
No, the guy behind him is Wrench, the one you can barely see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This gentleman with the guitar is Wrench.
Yes.
Okay.
He has a strap that says Wrench, so that you do not mistake who he is.
That's hard to see.
I know.
Probably so you don't steal his guitar.
Yeah.
Well, the two rapists were
What?
constantly moving around in front of them, so I couldn't get a good picture of like all of them. So,
Yeah.
like I don't feel like they pulled back on their show at all. Like I've been to some shows where it's like no turnout of crowd, and they're just like, we're gonna phone this in. They didn't fucking phone it in at all.
They went for it.
Yeah.
Good for them.
But yeah, it was a fun time.
Super.
Mm-hmm. You asked about the weekend, so I was sharing.
Was not.
I got a new bed.
Yeah,
Nobody
nice.
cares, but I got a new bed.
Was
Nice
it like
bed.
Bago bed?
Yes.
You get
Yeah.
delivered and just
Did it explode out?
Yes.
Was it cool?
Yes.
Did you freak out like that lady in last week's movie?
No, I did not.
Oh my God, an inflatable raft!
But I sleep like the dead now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's lovely.
I fall into my bed and I'm like,
Did you get a Casper mattress that you
No.
can get go to casper.com/.
Nope.
slash BJ.
BJ's mattress.
BJ's Mattress. Use offer code BJ's Mattress for 2% off your mattress.
I don't even remember what brand it is, but
That actually just gets you some free 2% milk. That's
Oh.
Yeah.
In the mattress?
Yeah.
Like waterbed, but it's 2%
absorbent.
milk?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a milk bed.
Oh,
It's a new thing.
Milk bed.
Milk bed.
Mm.
You heard it here first, folks. Milk
Milk
bed.
Bed.
Like everyone's still talking about eating ass, and we're here about talking about the important things like milk bed.
2019, the year of milk bed.
Right.
The hottest in sexual flavors. Milk.
You can cuddle and curdle at the same time.
Curl her toes while you're curdling your hose. I don't know.
Yeah. Fuck yes, let's do this.
Milk bed.
This is all we need.
Milk. Hashtag milk bed. You heard it here first.
Right. We own this.
Yeah.
We're mailing this podcast to ourselves.
Milk bed.
We're just emailing it to ourselves.
Been there, done that.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Gentleman's copyright.
It's law.
We have
That's how it
seen the
works.
Sonic
It's
the
really
Hedgehog trailer.
That's how it works, yeah.
No, it's really not.
Yeah, no. You go to court and you go, look at the date on this envelope, the date on the envelope. Then now I open the envelope. Doody-doody-doo.
Yeah.
My first album.
Yes.
It's an amazing Kreskin in the courtroom.
Uh-huh.
We have seen the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, and
We don't care. I don't care.
if you're in our Discord, you would know our opinions already.
Yeah. I don't care.
I don't care about the Sonic the Hedgehog design. I don't give a shit. I just want the movie to be as absolutely dumb as it looks, and then I will enjoy it. It looks like it's going to be Super Mario Brothers level dumb, and I want that.
I just hope there's something in the movie that right before it releases, Jim Carrey shits all over the movie for some reason.
Right, yeah.
That seems to be his new MO.
Yeah.
I was in this movie and I do not approve of the violence in this movie. It's
I don't approve of
do you
hedgehogs.
do you have a script?
Yeah. You knew that people had guns, right? Like, you saw all the guns?
Yeah. Did you see the first?
Your character had a gun.
No, Kick-Ass. He
Yeah.
did Kick-Ass. Not Kingsman. Another comic movie.
It's like a big budget super, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
I think
is. It is. Big budget super.
It's like Super 2.
It was. It was like a sequel to Super, but
2.
it was a sequel to this other thing.
All right. Well, I guess we bantered enough.
Let's
light-
get this over with.
Slappy apple.
Hit
Happy
the
apple.
bars.
I don't like that.
Okay.
Me either.
All right. Welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey!
BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Episode 466.
Nice.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Weed.
No.
Oh.
He behaved this week and you blew it.
This has been my plan all along. That was keeping up with the Nintendo numbers. I finally poisoned him, and then I just.
Right. So I'm Harlow.
I'm BJ,
I'm Chuck.
and Mackie has disappeared this week. I don't know. He's taken a lot of vacation days.
He's in the
From the
he's in
podcast.
the wings of an angel or something.
Right.
He is far away from here,
Right.
but not that far.
Yeah. So what we do each and every episode of this here BMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Come in here and talk about it for the first half, and then we rate them. Good bad movies enjoyed by bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and Robot Jocks.
Robot
Yay!
Jocks!
I like Robot Jocks. Do you?
I do.
Nice.
That's why we built a rating system around it.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah. However, there are bad movies that stay away. They get a negative sliding scale. 1 to 5 bags is in giant bags of trash.
Sack him up. Put him in the bin. Take him to the road.
Chuck them in the fucking sea.
Get it in
Get
the fucking
in
sea.
the fucking sea.
So yeah, we're doing force majeure.
Force majeure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And week 2 brings us 1983's Deadly Force.
Deadly Force.
Yeah.
D-Force.
It's got Wings Hauser in it. You know?
It. Yeah.
It's got wings.
It's got
It's
Wings
got
Hauser.
Wings Hauser.
It does.
Wings Hauser.
Yep.
I'm in.
Do you want me to read the plot summary?
Yes, I
Oh,
do.
God damn it.
It's as is tradition.
Yeah, this is tradition. All right, I didn't really look through this, so it's going to be kind of a long one.
Who cares?
Yeah, that's what she said. Stoney Cooper, a former Los Angeles police officer, is at a low point in his life. Kicked off the force because of his anti-authority attitude, he now ekes out a living as a freelancer in New York. All this changes when the daughter of an old friend is killed by a serial killer terrorizing L.A. I'm going to stop there.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So, Deadly Force is brought to us by the following BMFcast alums.
Okay.
Writer Barry Schneider, who wrote Roller Boogie in class of 1984. Wings Hauser, as you may have guessed by our saying that Wings Hauser is in this movie.
That's a good guess.
From such BMFcast movies as Watchers 3, Original Gangstas, La Bounty, and Beastmaster 2 on BMFcast Extra.
BMFcast Extra.
Yeah. Al Ruscio from Showgirls and The Phantom,
Uh-huh.
and Lincoln Kilpatrick from Cool Breeze, Bulletproof, and Fortress.
Yeah.
I don't remember who Al Ruscio is.
He's Sam.
Sam. Okay.
He's his buddy.
I like Sam.
Sam was all right.
Who was Lincoln Kilpatrick?
He was
that the
police
captain?
captain.
Nice.
Yeah.
I liked him as well.
Huxley.
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 Yeah.
Huxley.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to the first couple of minutes of this movie because I had to do something. But
Okay.
I mean, I know there was a murder.
Yeah. So
there's a
girl's
lady-
taking a shower,
A lady starts her day
Mm-hmm.
doing all the things.
listening
and
to
gets
some
killed.
cool
goes for-
80s LA radio.
goes for a stretch.
Yep.
By the window.
Yep.
And then it's like
And a bend.
out the window.
Yeah.
She's gone out the window.
Well, she gets stabbed.
Oh.
She gets her neck slit.
Yeah. And then pushed out the window.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's a serial killer in L.A. called the X Killer because he's carving X's into their foreheads, mostly, when he kills them. And so we've got to go to New York for a few minutes to introduce Wings Hauser, who's just...
It's a confusing intro because I did pay attention to part of this.
Uh-huh.
It's a confusing intro because he's being called in to like hostage negotiate, except there is no hostage. There's just a guy in a warehouse like going, "I'm going to blow this place up."
Yeah.
Well, he's holding the warehouse hostage.
Right.
Well,
But
he's already...
Citizens United have determined that corporations are people.
He's
so-
already gotten a
okay.
call from L.A. to go out to L.A. And we're not quite sure what he's doing because we see him playing the world's weirdest street game I've ever seen. It's like roulette, but with a mouse. They spin a roulette wheel and just put a rat on it, and the rat staggers into one of the holes on the wheel, and then whatever number that rat jumped into is who wins. So he's watching that. He's playing basketball with a soccer ball. He gets paged. He goes, answers the page, loses the soccer ball in the crowd or in traffic, and so he's got to go to L.A. But then he's like playing piano in a nightclub, and it's already like the end of the day. He's like he didn't have a tux on, but now he has a tux on. But it's already been he's in disheveled mode, like he's been working all night, and he gets a call at the bar like, "Hey, come down to this warehouse. We've got a situation."
Right.
And
But he gets driven there in a cab by Estelle Getty
yes,
from the Golden Girls, in case you don't know.
right.
But
From Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
yeah, her most famous role. Yeah.
Sure.
Where he just changes in the car. So was there a title card drop that it said it was in New York? Or were you just like, hey, it's New York because there's a rat and cabs and stuff?
It's after he got off the phone, the camera pans up and you see the New York skyline.
Okay.
You're like, oh, he's in New York.
See, that's the part I must have missed because like he shows up at like basically where I started tuning back in. He shows up at this warehouse and he puts on like was changing in the car and he finishes like by putting on like a police windbreaker and it says LAPD on it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wait, that was a New York cab. What the fuck?
Right.
Like
It's
because
confusing
he's also
at
like,
first.
I got to go to LA, and it's like, well, are you not in LA because
Yeah.
you have an LAPD
Yeah.
jacket on?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
It was confusing, but I kind of figured that
Right.
like this must be New York.
yeah,
And
I thought for a second I thought it was like a John McClane situation, like he's visiting,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and he's
come
got
out
to
to
go
the coast.
yeah, or something. I don't know, but
A few laps.
anyway, he this guy is like in one of those overhead crane sky bucket type things.
Well, he's been called by this guy who runs like a warehouse and probably is a bunch
There's
of illegal
illegal shit,
aliens
yeah.
working there, and he's not doing proper things inside either. And he's like, this guy is strapped himself with dynamite, and he's going to blow up the building. So could you come take care of it? I'll pay you $20,000. So he's like, okay. So yeah, he's up in the crane, like just riding back and forth in this place, just shouting bullshit at the... He thinks that the old man has come into the warehouse, and he's just yelling shit at him.
Right.
But it's really Wings Hauser who is scaling the building.
Yeah, he sneaks
Sneakily.
in and gets up top and like Spider-Man crawls along this rafter.
He reverse Busey's up.
Yeah, and eventually like drops in the sky bucket directly behind him silently.
Yes.
And pulls a gun on him, and the guy's like still holding the plunger and everything, and he does a whole thing of like, oh, is that a Japanese-made plunger? I've seen one of those go off, blah blah blah. You know,
You don't want that thing to go off.
Yeah.
It's-
He's like, tell you what, the guy's like, Sal or whatever the fuck the guy's name has been sleeping with my wife. That's why I'm going to blow the place up. He's like, what if I pay you $2,000? We'll just walk out of here alive. And then there's no cops and everything, and they negotiate.
They scream negotiate at each other.
Yeah.
At one point, Wingshauser, I thought he shot this dude because they're in such close proximity, but
I thought he shot him in the nuts.
Yeah, but no, he just apparently shot into the floor.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually they settle on a number, $4,000. And then they just walk out.
Yeah. And he like grabs the plunger off the detonator and is like, I guess it's free. And then he just walks this guy out who's like victory lapping. He's just like,
hell yeah, well, power to me.
I
you
did
know?
it. And then the guy's like, he's still strapped with dynamite. He's like, you paid me to get him out of the building, not to disarm him. Bye.
And he just
Wonka.
he just hands the money, the $4,000 to that guy, and as he's trying to get into the cab, Estelle Getty just fucking floors it because he's like, wait. Yeah, but then he's
in L.A.
He's TWAing into L.A.
That's an airline.
Is it?
I have to explain. We continue to have to
Trans World
explain these
Airlines.
references.
These old man references.
Well, TWA has been gone for a while, so it was an airline.
Qantas.
Yeah.
Is it Qantas or is it Qantas?
Pardon me?
There's no
fuck
U
you
in
say?
Qantas. It's just QANTAS. I don't know. Anyhow, TWA
it's
was
Quado, I think.
okay. It's Qatar. It's like guitar.
Guitar.
TWA was the first airline I flew on.
Oh,
Thank you for this.
you're quite
brief
welcome.
moment.
Yeah, that's sweet.
That's what united us all together.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, Wings is in.
Southwest.
He's in L.A.
JetBlue.
All right.
Yep.
He's met by Sam, who's
Well, it's the old days of airports where you could go to the gate. So
Right.
like they cross like as he's leaving, and he's like, "Oh,
hey,
hey, you're
Sam,
here early."
hey. Yeah.
And-
So Sam, it's his granddaughter or niece or something who
Granddaughter.
Okay, who was killed in the opening scene, and he's sad. And he wants Wings to come out because the LAPD is useless, and he's going to pay him. Or no, there's a reward to catch the guy.
$250,000.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, just, hey, find this guy, and I'll help you out. I'll be your investigating buddy, and we'll tool around L.A. together.
And this guy is a locksmith. Or not locksmith.
No,
He's
a criminal.
He's a criminal lockpicker.
Right.
But it's important to note, like, so as they were like, "Hey, I'm sorry to hear about your granddaughter and all this. We're going to find her, all this stuff." And a airport cop radios in, like, "Get me Huxley or Oxley or whatever his name is."
He's here.
Yeah. And so like they take off in his shitty yellow station wagon thing, and
It's not any shitty yellow station wagon. It's a
Here we go.
cool old Volkswagen.
okay. But it's like it's got different colored doors, and it's seen better days.
Yeah.
But they immediately get pulled over by the cops, or like cops, careen in front of them, almost causing an accident. And it's like it's his old police chief, captain guy, whatever.
Lieutenant,
Yeah.
now captain.
Yes.
And he's just like, "I thought you told you to never come back. And taking your badge is the best day of my life. Blah blah blah. Get the fuck out of here." Yeah.
Right.
All that kind of typical bullshit.
It's just whatever he did, he just didn't play by the rules, and he got thrown off the force. But in this movie's world, he left. He didn't get his badge back. He's just like, fine, fuck you, I'm going to New York.
Right. Yeah, which he's not like a private eye. He's just a fixer, I guess.
Literally no idea what he
Yeah.
was doing in New York. He just he got paid to do that thing, but who knows what
Right.
he was actually doing. So anyway, like from there, he's like, I gotta go.
as soon as they're let free, like he's just Sam is like his personal chauffeur. He's just like,
Well, they immediately go, he's like, take me to my ex-wife.
oh yeah, that's the first thing. Yeah.
So they go to see his ex-wife, and he still has a key because apparently he used to live here.
I don't know if there was a key situation. It's one of those like sketchy like.
He had a key. He was
he,
staying
oh,
on the
yeah,
key.
he had a key.
But I mean, it's one of those like, go in the freight elevator and I live above shops and stuff.
Yeah. So he goes in, and she's in there with the dude who's a coworker apparently, but they're just kind of chilling. And he just comes in, starts playing the piano because it's established earlier that's what he does.
Yep.
I
want to note that. Well, it turns out she's a news reporter, and Diego was the guy who's there. Is her cameraman.
Yeah.
But I only note that because when he gets introduced to him, he's like, "What was your name again? Dayglow."
Diego.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's the classic, like,
Right.
You may be hitting on my wife or girlfriend or whatever. I'm going to call you by the wrong name.
Yeah. Nothing comes from that.
No, not really.
And this is just, you're my ex-husband, get out of here. And he's like, but I'm here. And she's like, yeah, I don't want you to be here. And he's like, yeah, but I'm here. And she's
Also, hey, you're working on the X murder. thing here. You got any
look
leads?
at your corkboard with all the clues on it. Maybe
we got a murder wall over here.
we can put our heads together and come up with something. She's like, get out. He's like, all right, fine. So then it's just montage with Sam. It's just like...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they go hit the streets and shaking down people like for information.
And early on, he gets accosted. Like he's just walking down the street, and dudes pull up in a car and hit him with a car door.
Right after he leaves.
Might have been. Yeah. And it's two dudes menacing him and beating him up, and then Sam kind of distracts them, and they're like, all right, fuck you, and they leave. And Sam's like, what was all that about? And he was like, oh, well, this other guy wanted me out of town too. Head gangster in town.
Yeah, I guess before the shakedown montage, he goes to see that guy too.
Yeah,
because it's like suddenly it's night and he's sneaking into. his
he
place.
immediately goes and breaks into that guy's house.
Head gangster Ashley.
Ashley. Yeah. So the two thugs that confronted him are apparently the only two thugs that work for that guy, because they come out and confront him, and he has an awkward fight with the two of them, and then gets into his house, where he's got a big titty lady in the bed with him eating like popcorn out of a giant Crown bowl.
I don't know what this is, but this is how I want my popcorn served to me at all future movies.
It's like a crown for a hippo.
Yeah. Yep.
Just imagine, like, if you were to put a crown on a hippopotamus.
Yep. Think about it like a Disney hippopotamus.
I believe
crown.
that's a Mike Tyson's Punch-Out character.
Yes, you're right.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are correct.
Crown
For a king
hippopotamus.
hippo. Yeah.
Yeah, but so she's just laying in bed with her titties hanging out, eating popcorn out of this crown, watching a Marilyn
Just
Chambers porno,
Living the best fucking life.
and dude's just sleeping.
With an old school like RGB projection
Oh, yeah.
screen thing above him. Too.
Yeah. So,
That thing costs like $40,000.
oh yeah, at the time. But Wingshauser just goes over to the guy and is just like, "Hey, Snookums, wake up!" And he's just like, "What? You?" And he's just like, "Yeah, I'm here. I'm gonna be here for 3 weeks. Deal with it."
And I think this is between the first scene where he basically pays the guy with the own money he's going to get for getting the guy out of there. This is trying to establish I'm going to make a deal with you with money I don't actually have yet.
Yeah.
Because he's like, hey, I want 3 weeks. You guys don't leave me alone. I'm going to catch this ex-killer, and I'm going to give you half the $250,000 bounty for him. And
guy's
he's like, fine, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, and don't push your luck. So he's gotten a pass from this guy, but it's the movie is attempting to establish like this is his thing. Except he does it these 2 times, and then he talks about doing it later, and it never really comes up.
Yeah,
sort of. I mean,
yeah.
It's just like it's trying to give him like a quirk or he's actually kind of a shitty whatever he is, but it doesn't. Nothing really comes of it.
Yeah,
because then they basically do what we get to watch actual police work, which is just go talk to contacts, people that were near a thing that happened, people that might know somebody, until you get a lead. I mean that's what's weird about the second act of this movie. It's like, watching actual police procedure is really boring.
Yeah.
I mean,
even in a montage.
Yeah.
And I think we can go ahead and say now, the music in this movie is trying so hard to make everything seem exciting, but it's not.
Yeah.
The music, though, is just fucking guitars wailing and just synth beats, and it's just like 80s movie action. And it's like, yeah, but none of that's happening on screen.
Right.
So thanks for that, but...
Yeah, the only thing, like, he meets one dude who, there's another murder victim.
There's, like, just killings going
yeah.
on, and half of them never even get acknowledged.
And honestly, we see the killer, like, the second or third one. We kind of saw him in the first one, a little bit. For like half a second, but then it's like...
He's killed someone in a lady's bathroom and just walks out wiping the ice pick clean,
right,
and you're like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah, plus, like, there was points where he was, like, trying to shoot them when he doesn't get a chance. Like he's got this weird, like, it looks like a shotgun with a scope, but he's like across the street with it, or a pistol with a scope.
Yeah, it's got like a pistol caliber barrel, but it looks like a sawed-off shotgun, but it's got a scope.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
Because
strange.
One of the dudes that got murdered when they first got to town, besides the granddaughter, is just a lady comes to a bus stop and there's just a dead guy on the bus stop bench and falls over.
But he's like a white dude in the barrio, and he's everyone's like, well, what's this guy doing here? This doesn't make sense. And
So like the cops come and they're trying. He's like poking at the body and stuff. And they're like, get out of here. And he just basically finds this pickpocket dude who's like standing near the crowd, and like he's basically like, what's going on? Tell me some information. He's like, I can get some information, but meet me here later. So like that guy's a potential lead, and then. Eventually, I'm going to skip ahead because like they
meet up with him.
They go meet up with him again. Eventually, he's like, yeah. It turns out like he was near here because he was seeing like a hooker who's like near here.
She works in the church.
Yeah, she works. Yeah, they say she works out of the church, but whatever, maybe.
Yeah.
But so they have a lead on this lady. So
Yep.
this is where like we clearly see the killer, like with this weird shotgun pistol thing across the street with a scope. And
Yeah,
he's
he's
like,
just there. He's time to murder them.
yeah, he's like, oh, they're getting close. So he tries to murder him, but like a bus passes by and he doesn't get a chance.
Yeah.
So
They go in. They talk to the whore. She has a baby. And she slips out of whore mode and goes into mother mode and is just like, please, my baby, I have to do this. And they're kind of dicks to her until like Wings Hauser just grabs her face and looks at her and is just like, all right, I believe you. And
he's got truth detection powers or something.
Right.
I don't know.
He does. This is the only person he doesn't give money to, which is really strange.
He does.
He gave money to her.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he tucked it in the
that's
bassinet.
right. Yeah, he gave it to the baby.
Yeah, well,
the baby got $10. Everyone in the montage got $10. It's like your grandma came to town.
$10 for you, $10 for you.
Gotta get you
$10
something
is nothing
nice.
to sneeze at in 1983.
Get some gumballs for your chewing.
Oh, this is all right.
Here's $10. Go see a Star Wars.
$10 like $50
I'm
now.
I'm just saying. It's just weird that he's just handing out $10 bills. Anyway, so they leave, bump into the killer dude, and are like, "Oh, excuse me, sir," and walk away. And then that dude goes up and kills the hooker.
Well, they didn't have any idea.
No, I'm not saying they were bad at
And
this.
this is the first time you can clearly see he's missing like 2 fingers on
Yeah.
one of his hands.
Yeah.
It never really becomes much of a plot point, except
No.
it's just like, hey, look, the guy only has 3 fingers on one hand,
Yeah, it's weird.
or 2 fingers and a thumb. But yeah, so like he murders the lady, and we don't know what happens to the baby. Murders the lady, and you just hear baby crying. It's like
The baby got orphan vision immediately. But they weren't there to utilize it.
Then
So this is when he goes home and takes a
Yeah.
bath. And he goes and he puts there must be, I don't know, half an inch of water in this tub because it's just a big giant tub that appears to have no water.
well,
in
it's
it.
like a freestanding clawfoot tub,
Yeah.
like in the middle of the room kind of thing. Yeah.
So he's just chilling in this tub. The murderer is across the street with his weird gun, and
He's
just,
got a different gun now. It's an
Uzi with a.
This is like an actual like rifle with a scope on
Yeah.
it.
So he lights up the dude's, apartment, whatever this thing is.
Well, he's in his ex-wife's place.
But it's still his place. It's his place. He had a key.
Okay, sure.
He just left. He went to New York.
All right. Well, he was there when he shouldn't be. When she.
No, I know.
I want to point out, like, simultaneous with this, she is meeting with a heretofore unseen guy.
Yes.
Who's like a Tony Robbins motivational dude.
Basically.
He's just got a room of like 50 people chanting some like, "We can be better, power to people."
Find the
things."
power.
Yeah, find the power.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because he's basically like,
and she's sitting in
"You
the room
all
like,
suck."
well, what is this? He's got some, charisma or something. And then like she was there to interview that guy. And, like,
Right,
what's
'cause
the
she's a
secret?
reporter.
What's your secret to your success? And so like that's why she's not home. And
Right.
he's just like, oh man, long day.
yep.
I gotta soak in
Soak
this
in
tub.
in a little bit of water in this tub. So the apartment gets lit up, and he flops around. You get some wings dings hanging out there.
Nice.
And he runs across the street and
Why do people do this in movies? Like, if you
don't
get
know.
shot at from another building, why even bother run over there?
yeah.
They're never still there.
Yeah.
You're just gonna exhaust yourself, because he's all bloody. Because
Yeah, he's been hit.
I mean, I don't know if he's been hit or if it's just like he was sliding around the floor with glass and everything else that got knocked
He's
off.
been injured. He's got a wound on his head and his shoulder is cut.
Yeah.
So
So she's done with the interview. Is like coming home. There's broken glass everywhere,
Mhm. and
the
this
rest-
means
the
it's
rest of
sexy
the
time.
lines of the song. Well, yeah, like she comes home and is like, "What's this glass?" And he's just like plinking on the piano and still all
What's his
bloody.
ass?
Yeah, and then
The piano, by the way, has been shot to hell. So
Yeah.
he's just plinking on the keys that still work.
yeah, it begins sexy time in a hammock.
Sex hammock.
Yeah,
Of course, they fall
This is
out
a
of
bad
the hammock.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Should
fall out
of the
but
hammock.
they giggle because
yeah.
whatever.
Well, Wings plows her, and
Yep, that'll do.
yeah, and then they fall out of the hammock. Yeah. But I mean, this
But,
is like
yeah,
an
you're
extended
right.
scene, and it has the fuck theme from
It
Deadly
does.
Force.
It does have the fuck theme from Deadly Force.
Yeah.
It was at this point actually where I think you asked me what the name of this movie was.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, it's the fuck theme from.
What is this?
What is this again? Like honestly, I was like, was this L.A. Bounty? No, that was another Wings
Yeah,
Hauser
that-
movie.
La Bounty.
That
And
was-
actually, that title applies more to this movie than the other one.
Kind of does.
Yeah,
Because there's a bounty out for this dude.
yeah, and they're in L.A.
Yes.
So I mean, it's really that's why I was confused because I was like, L.A. Bounty would be a good title for this movie.
Yeah.
but it's not.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they had the sex.
So yeah, they're now kind of back together, sort of. I don't know. They're still kind of sniping at each other, but it's like now they're like, oh,
she gets a call from someone at a movie studio, and they're like, let's go there.
It's weird because this is never previously established who this person is, and this person calls her in a panic.
It's like,
they're
my God, listen.
They're like, oh my God, I tried because this was.
They went to
they went to her office,
yeah.
and he's just like poking around, like, ooh, what's this? And
he's like,
you work here? And
we'll have Sam break into the cop's office, and he'll steal all the evidence, and we'll go through it. That'll work, right? And she's like,
well, this is where they start. Like, he's like trying to find the pattern, and they're like, she's like, I've checked everyone, and I can't find anything. It all seems random.
Because they just killed like a waitress. Like a waitress just got killed.
Like a 90-year-old waitress. She's
yes,
like the oldest, or not a waitress. She's a housekeeper.
Right.
She's wearing like what you traditionally think of as a waitress dress.
Yeah.
But it turns out she's a housekeeper. She's like murdered right outside of a hotel.
Because Wingshauser's like, look, there's usually a pattern. People want to, when they do this, they want the world to recognize that they're doing it. This is just totally random. This doesn't make any sense.
I think this might be the first time he's like, what if there is a pattern, but there's also some extra people in there just to throw us off.
Yeah. And that's when he's like,
because I mean, like the thing is like, someone drops like, yeah, he's murdering, like, there's no pattern. It's young, old, women, men, children.
Mm-hmm.
Just like nobody's safe from this ex-killer guy.
Chaos.
But yeah, she gets a call, and this person, like I said, never established who this is, but she's like, oh my God, I've been trying to call you, and I can't talk right now.
Yeah.
I'm in the security office of whatever studios. Get down here. Oh my God. Oh, I click. And it's like, what? Who are you? So they go to this movie studio and walk in the security office, and she's not there.
Nope.
So she's like, well, I'm a reporter. I'm going to look around. And they
but they don't. It's not like, let's look around and investigate. It's like, let's go in and fuck around in this studio prop warehouse.
I mean, their very first stop is they go right to the prop room,
Yeah.
basically. And they're just like, oh, look, a model ship. And
Yeah.
oh, look, a dollhouse.
These are neat. Hey,
And then
Dollman.
the killer guy's like up in the loft or whatever, and like knocks something over, and Wings is like, we're not alone.
Yeah.
It could be her, but it might be something else.
Right.
And then they both go up there, and he's got his gun drawn in the stupidest banner I've ever seen for a cop or whatever. It's like he's not even doing like the incorrect hold it up thing. He's just like got it kind of gangster style, like not even full hand holding it, just like like he's.
This was before we knew how guns worked.
Well, I'm saying like he looks like he looks like he's about to go to like a wanted curve the bullet thing at any point in time,
Yeah.
But like we get an honest to God cat scare out of like a kayak up there or some shit.
Oh God.
Like and they're like, oh, it's just a cat, and that's when the killer's like, ha ha.
2x4 to your face.
Yeah. and then
Wings gets hit and is just like, oh God, and just kind of tumbles down the stairs a little bit. And she's like looking at the kayak like, do I use this as a weapon? What do I do here? And then
she's the one that introduced the 2x4 to the equation.
Right.
Because she goes all hacksaw there for a second and is like, yeah. And she gets knocked into this, like, they have a hammock net type thing with a bunch of mannequin parts just dangling
Always
over this.
with the hammocks.
she loves the hammocks.
And she basically gets knocked into that, and there's, I guess, well, we assume it's the lady they were there to meet who's murdered and has the X on her forehead.
Yeah.
And they tussle with this guy for half a second, and he's just like, I'm out, and runs out.
He runs out. Wings is about to give chase, but this lady is just like, get me out of this thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, fine. So he goes and gets her out of there, and then they go get in his car, and then it's car chase time.
It's a weird car chase because like they're keeping up with this dude pretty well, and then at one point like he keeps trying to get out of the car and fire at him or do something, and then he ends up running back into the car until
he does it. At one point when he stops and shoots, he managed to shoot the guy in the leg,
which makes no sense.
Not sure how that happened.
How do you? I mean, I know cars aren't bulletproof, but they're bullet resistant at least, or at least.
There should be at least 6 things that bullet goes through before it lands in that dude's leg.
And the leg is the one place.
Are like wet paper.
But also, he was shooting from behind the car. Like
it's like
he's a great shot.
Well,
I mean, that's like through trunk, through 2 sets of seats, and
But he's basically like, oh look, he's weaving
and
in
also
and out.
your leg, where you got shot in the leg, is
it's like the upper thigh
is horizontal in a car.
Yeah,
he's a great shot.
Okay. Yeah, maybe he did do the wanted bullet thing. That's why he was showing off that.
But like he eventually catches up to that dude, and the dude has crashed into the wall outside the institute for the guy who's like, find your power.
Mm-hmm. And scales over the fence, and he misses that, so he's like, oh well, we'll just go in the front door. And man, it's like when they go in, like they're driving out the exit for this place, and like everyone's leaving at the same time. So like, because they have to like weave around like 4 cars, and then eventually just pull up and plow over some piece of modern art.
Yeah.
And he jumps out with a gun, and like, of course, all this dude's security guards are like, "What the fuck?" and pull guns on him. He's like, the ex-killer is here. I trapped him on your compound. Put your guns down. Let's go get him.
Yeah.
And they're all like, "Oh, okay,
all right."
And so he's like, get all the people inside and lock the place down. And he's skulking around on the outside looking for this dude. Meanwhile, ex-killer's climbed up on the roof.
Yeah.
The power guy and his ex-wife, or actually, I guess still wife, are in his office where we've seen before. Where
he's like giving her a wet cloth and a drink,
and he's like,
feel
"Oh,
better."
okay." And then because this dude's got Spanish tiles, like the guy knocks one off or creaks it or whatever. He's like, "Oh, let me get my gun," and leaves her alone. And of course, that's the window where he comes in. Is he's about to murder her and
starts to murder her.
Yeah, starts to like strangle her. And power of positive thinking dude busts in and shoots this guy. And it's played out like, because like Wings Howard are like, oh shit, gunshot, runs in, and it's played out for a second like he shot both of them.
That's what I thought
because
too.
like she is totally out. Like,
yeah, she is not moving.
I thought that she had been drugged.
Yeah,
like that's what I figured when he brought the drink out, is he was going to drug her and do some,
I don't know.
Shit.
I thought he just shot through both of them.
Yeah,
and
but no, she's fine because he kind of like slaps her and she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, well, I guess we're leaving here.
And it's weird because, like, so you're like, okay, this movie's over, and then the next scene is Sam dressed as a cop breaking into the chief's office to steal all the evidence.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he doesn't know that this
No,
is
I know, but
down,
like right away, the movie's telling you, no, this movie is not over.
Yeah.
So they just like, they go back to the apartment, the shot-up apartment, and
the cops should come in, like, the coroner dude is like, or whatever CSI guy is like, I told you he was missing his fingers, like that's why we never got full prints, and yeah, I told you.
Yeah, full prints is the only way you catch people.
Yeah.
Not a print.
Always
but
go full prints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so there's that bit of information, and then they're like, okay, well, let's go through these files anyway. Maybe we're missing something.
Yeah, they're just sitting in the bed, like, still trying to connect the dots. And then eventually...
Because, like, Wings immediately comes up with a theory of, like, that dude didn't seem like he was nervous to be there. He seemed like he was going there for a reason.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to get somewhere. He had arrived.
And he was like, he was there to kill the power of positive thinking guy.
Yeah, maybe that was it. And then they were also like, well, why would he go into a public place that has armed security guards? Yeah, that's weird, too.
Yeah, boy.
So
and
maybe
then,
they're there to kill him. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, there's a connection because housekeeper lady's husband was in prison for 20 years. He's there now. And then, like, this person was in such and such prison. And they're like, well, let's go to the prison tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they don't really get much information there, but
no, they go and they meet with the husband, and he's like, they basically like show him a list of the murder victims, and he's like, yeah, this guy was a guard for like a couple of years, and obviously that's my wife, and that's my wife, and over here is like somebody else who had something to do with the prison. The John from the hooker earlier was like a temporary barber when their prison barber got shanked. So he's like, yeah, so there's 3 people here that were like,
Jesus.
that had something to do with this prison. And he's like, don't recognize anybody else. He's like, nope, gotta go, bye.
And this basically, from this, they go to a room where it's like, let's look at,
they have a
overhead transparencies of mugshots, and then
it's like a composite artist guy, but he's got them all in overhead transparencies so he can layer them, like superimpose them.
Fucking superimposed.
Yeah. It's like
It's a fairly clever way of doing it.
Yeah. But yeah, he's basically just like, all right, start with this guy's this supposedly guy. Well, that was one of the people. He's like, yeah,
this guy was set on fire.
Yeah, he was talking about like some guy who was like got all the inmates and the guards together to like run the scams until like one day they'd had enough and they burned him alive.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh, that's weird. So he's like, prison preacher. He's like, no, not really, not exactly. So he's like, all right, well, we'll start with the composite sketch of that guy, and then like they have basically power of positive thinking guy and his
picture's on the front page of the newspaper,
and he's like, well, like do this and like
put hair on him.
Put a hair, and he's like, holy shit, it's him. It's that guy. He was the guy who supposedly burned alive.
Right.
He's not dead.
So him.
Yeah.
Must have been. This all makes sense now. Let's go get him.
Yeah.
So they.
So they at first they're just.
Oh wait, hold on.
Okay.
So there was a bit after power of positive thinking guy killed the bad guy because the police chief is like, well, the head, the Ashley, the main bad guy, he's going to be real pissed that you can't pay him any money. And I called him. Here he is.
Well, they say, oh, that son of a bitch, he called him because he was like, they were just like, ah, fuck, And he was like waiting at their house, and like there's another mini car chase.
So they do this whole car chase where just the entire time Wings Hauser is yelling at his wife to get down.
Even when she is,
she's mostly down the entire time, but she does keep popping up on occasion. And so his yelling is somewhat appropriate. But he just basically that makes that guy drive into a pile of cars and flip over and die.
They drive through like one of those warehouses that has a loading ramp
Right.
and an exit ramp.
Yes,
And like
the exit ramp goes through a door.
Like on the other side, it's like the exit ramp is like through a window because they launch and like you get like sudden stunts of a car like flying through a window.
Yeah, I mean they fucking launched this car. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, a stunt!
Yeah,
Hooray!
And then the Ashley the gangster like tries it as big heavy Mercedes and basically like flips his car over and
yeah.
I guess he's dead.
I'm
don't know.
pretty sure he's dead.
Maybe.
Yeah, that dude's dead. But anyway, so that happened. So that wraps up that story.
But they're like, oh wow, I can't believe we figured it out. Like, it's this guy. Well, we just got to figure out how we get to him. And then they're like, well, good thing Eddie. We didn't even mention that his ex-wife's name isn't there, and
Edwina.
she's out doing some thing in the cornfields, just like that. And he's like, it's not cornfields, it's Canfield. That's the name of his place. Holy shit, she's there right now.
We got to get there. And Sam's like, it's no big deal. She's not going to say anything. He's like, this is my ex-wife we're talking about. She's going to blab the second she gets there that we're over at the prison gathering information on this. So
and to be fair, she almost does.
She almost does, yeah.
But they break in and knock over a big stack of folding chairs. That's how they're given like that. They give away like they karate chop one dude, like one guard outside, and like knock him out.
Master lockpick thief man is able to stealth his way into this house, and then there's a giant pile of folding chairs in front of him that he just tumbles right over. And so Power Man is like, I better go check on this. Please excuse me.
Oh, it's 2 seconds after they knock over the chairs. There's two guards and him standing there with guns. Like,
and he's just like, "What are you doing in my house?" And Wings Hauser's like, "Oh, there's my wife. Come here. I'm jealous. Get over here.
I just need to talk to her for a second.
Just come over here for 1 second, that I can talk to you."
This is the only kind of funny thing in the movie because he's like he's whispering, so like obviously we can hear it, and realistically he could hear it, but he's whispering to her like,
it's him.
okay,
He did the thing.
seriously, for one time in your goddamn life, will you just listen to me and take me at my word?
Yeah.
You have to get away from here right now. He's the murderer, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yep. And she's just like, what? You're crazy. You're dumb. I regret sleeping with you in the hammock.
And then eventually they, he drops his, dead names and basically whatever his thing is. And then it's like,
yes.
And then he's like, what? Who is that? I don't know. That person's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's like, no, it's you. And then it's just.
Yeah, then it's just a Mexican standoff because his bodyguards have a gun on him. He has a gun on him. He's got a gun on her. The other guard has a gun on Sam.
Mexican standoff is what he had with the guy at the beginning, the Puerto Rican guy. Although then the guy says, I'm Puerto Rican, asshole. And then Wing says, I'm French, German, and whatever.
Yeah.
And I've got a gun. So,
yeah.
But anyway, So this is just running back and forth throughout the house.
Well, the way they get away from this is Sam has procured 2 of his picks from his lockpick kit and is like, they basically do the now and like conveniently knock all the guns out of the way, which I don't know who knocked the gun that was on her because like he produced like one of those like little Derringer things out of nowhere and is like sticking, pointing it at Eddie, his ex-wife or current wife, whatever. And then they just do the now thing, and then like he jams his picks in a light socket, and all the lights of the place go off
Because that's how it works.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all on the same circuit, obviously.
And Wings manages to kill both guards.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Power Man and his ex-wife escape together because Power Man is dragging her throughout the house now because she's a hostage.
Yeah. Luke Cage is in this?
No.
Oh.
So they go upstairs, and Wings kind of like peeks around a corner and immediately gets shot in the leg.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, I'm very good with my aim. I know what I'm doing with a gun. You know. And throughout the rest of this, Wings is holding his groin. Like, he's not been shot in the groin, but that's where the pain is, apparently.
Hey, you don't know where Wings begins and ends. There's all I'm saying.
I guess I don't.
His wing dings.
His wing stings.
Maybe more of a wing dong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, God, this is just, they keep going upstairs and downstairs, back and forth, and just making Wings, like, just... He's playing this like in a sitcom, like Tim Conway has stabbed himself with Novocaine in the leg and is just comically dragging around a dead leg throughout the rest of this.
Yeah. Eventually, the wife does get away, and so like, there at some point he's just like, "Get the hell out of here or help me!" But I'm going after him.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah,
And then they're like outside, like, oh, where'd he go? And they conveniently walk right by the garage, which is like, I love, this is one of my favorite things in movies, that's like, cars immediately start and are in drive.
Yes.
Like, it's like, lights come on and, like, almost runs Wings over. No, actually, Wings hits the hood of the car, and then he slams on the brakes, and Wings goes flying into a brick, not a brick wall, but like a
concrete
wall.
Wings takes flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like he hit hard on that wall.
Yeah.
Yep. Hard.
There was a bit earlier too where dude had Wings down on the ground and was shooting at his head and has grazed his face with a bullet. But he got out of that.
Yeah.
And then they did the car thing, and so guys like ha ha ha. He's just laughing maniacally at this point, like I'm fucking Power Man, and he drives away, and Wings just shoots the car trunk.
Yeah.
Which immediately goes.
Yeah, like it's a fucking Pinto.
And then there's a shot of him driving through his lawn with the trunk on fire, just like, ah.
And then he hits another, I guess it's an invisible ramp, modern art thing that flips his car. And then, of course, it sort of two stages explodes because, like...
There's a small explosion that we see.
It actually lands upright for it ramping, but then it's like, oh, first explosion. I guess they're going over there like, well, let's make sure he's dead. And then, like, big explosion. And we still never get to see, like, a charred body or anything. Like,
nope.
They're setting up that Deadly Force sequel.
Someone really should have said, look, he's done this before. He had people in prison set it up to look like he had been set on fire. We really need to double check this. But really all that happens is that the cops show up and Wings and crew are trying to limp away.
Yeah, like hospital.
And the chief is just like, get back here. I need to know things. And Wings is like, no. Going to the hospital. Been shot in the dick. Gotta go. And then freeze credits.
Freeze frame.
Yep. So
Deadly Force is over.
Maybe he's dead. We assume he's dead.
He's dead.
I mean, he's dead because there's never a sequel.
Right.
We have to assume.
Therefore, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Deadly Force is over.
This is a movie.
Yeah.
Huh.
Here's the thing. I don't really like Deadly Force.
Okay.
No.
I kind of kept thinking it was going to build to something cool. And there were little hints of things here and there. Like there's some lines of dialogue where someone put some effort in. And there's the occasional stunt, although most of the stunts look like things went real wrong and they just kept it. But this is just a very middle-of-the-road, nothing movie. Like there's just super long stretches of I don't care. And once they get into this... See, like the first hour of this feels like it's everything but what the movie is advertised to be, which is specialist super cop Wings Hauser is back in L.A. to stop a menacing serial killer, and it's really all about just people bothering Wings Hauser for most of it.
It's just schlubby detective Wings Hauser goes and bothers people for an hour.
Everyone hypes him up to be like this amazing cop who broke all the rules and got thrown out of town, but he never seems to do anything that's like, oh my god, you were... I mean, all he really did was put together...
He roughs up some street folks.
Yeah, but it's just... I don't know. And I also don't feel like we got any kind of Wings Hauser goodness in this, especially like coming off of L.A. Bounty, where he was just fucking nuts. I mean, he's fine in this, but it's just... He doesn't have anything to work with, and the movie's not as big as it pretends to be. Like, I didn't sample any of this when... I was just like, it's new on Blu-ray. Shout Factory put it out, so it's obviously not complete garbage. Wings Hauser's in it. We now know he's crazy. That'll be fun. It's got Force in the title, and the description is exactly what we want. Loose cannon cop, serial killer, let's do this. And it's just... all that stuff feels like it's on the back burner, and it just feels like a bunch of padding and stuff to get from point A to point B, and none of it makes a lot of sense. And I'm just disappointed by it. So... I don't hate it.
May God have mercy on your soul. 5 bags. Fuck you and everyone you know. Goodbye.
I'm just gonna give it a bag and say it's just bland. It's just, I mean, it's well made for a cheap B-tier movie from the early '80s, but it's just bland.
Yeah. It's not much of a change, but I'm going to give it a single jocks. I feel like it's kind of worth watching. I mean, it's pretty much a direct ripoff of the first Dirty Harry. I mean, serial killer thing, like in the background, but it's not. It's like it's there, but it's not the main reason you're there. You're kind of like you're watching the police side of it, and it's like this is the end game, but it's like this isn't like what you're watching throughout most of the movie. But yeah, it's like he has none of the swagger or anything that Dirty Harry does. But they're. It's obviously to me just supposed to be a Dirty Harry ripoff, kind of movie.
Sure.
But it's fine. I mean, I think it's watchable. It's nothing particularly memorable. Like we said, there's a couple of clever, angry police lines and stuff like that. But it never gets to like any kind of level that we want. They don't even go to the damn LA River, despite like literally driving over a bridge for it.
They drove over the LA River like 10 times.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know. It's just it's mostly forgettable, but I would say it's okay to watch if one Jocks is like, watch it if you want to.
And they used 0 iconic like LA locations. Come on.
Yep.
Learn from La Bounty, or I don't even remember if La Bounty had LA locations, but learn from
at least go to the Snoopy house or whatever it was, or the Pooh house. Pooh house.
Yeah,
go to the Pooh house.
That's Snoopy, wrong character.
Check out the Pooh house.
And my favorite place to eat, the Pooh house.
Yeah. Well, it was Winnie the Pooh house.
Yeah, but still.
Get some honey for your money.
Sounds more like a honey wagon.
No, you don't want to eat at a
That's
honey
what
wagon.
I mean.
No.
I feel like you'd have seen this on, like, USA on a Saturday afternoon and would have thought, man, I'd like to see the, like, I don't know what
the
this is
actual
rated,
R-rated.
but I'd like to see the...
It's a seriously easy movie to edit down to TV. Like,
Yeah.
there's barely any swearing, and then you cut out the wingdings running from the guns thing
Right.
and the hammock sex,
But you'd see this and think, man, I bet there's some cool shit that they're leaving out. No, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, these days they would just like throw the face blur on his butt, just keep that
Right.
scene in.
The
They
face blur on his butt.
Episode title: Face blur on his butt. But this is totally skippable. There's nothing you really need to see in this movie. I'm sure there are YouTube clips out there.
The trailer probably does it.
Yeah, probably. So I think I'll just slap this in one bag, and let it ride. Nobody needs to bother with this. Like,
yeah, nobody needs
towels.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised that like somebody bothered to put this on Blu-ray.
I was thinking that during this movie too,
Like-
and was.
Are there huge fans of
Yes, I mean
this movie, of Deadly Force?
of the era of the kind of grindhousey early 80s sleazy kind of thing, but this is very light on the sleaze. Like, that's the thing, it doesn't even go that far. It's not even like the seedy underbelly of LA where people are getting carved to death. It's like, oh, there's a dead person.
Well, this reminds me. I mean, I know it's 20 years after it, but remember like the early days of sci-fi movies, like before it was all Asylum bullshit, and like you'd watch it on the Sci-Fi Channel, and then like they put it on a video, and it's like, oh, this scene, there's a scene with boobs.
Yeah.
It's like it's just slightly different, so it's like it gets you to like go buy it or something. It feels like that. Like this feels like a TV movie where it's like, except for 2 scenes that weren't in that cut.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean it's fine. It's just.
But I mean, like, looking at this, like, this should have had. There should have been another. This should be like a double feature disc. Like, there should have been another of the era movie on here to justify
another
this.
Force movie, perhaps.
Yeah, or another Wings Hauser movie, because he's in 130 goddamn movies. It's just
Surprise, we're secretly now a Wings Hauser podcast.
Yeah, it's
not a
just
secret anymore.
strange because this feels like a movie that should be, as you said, sleazier. I
Yes.
mean,
Yeah.
or, more grindhousey.
More Ricochet, less whatever this is doing.
Yeah, it feels like they made a direct-to-video movie in a time before direct-to-video movies were a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, let's take a quick break, shall we?
Yes.
For an incredibly quick second half.
We are light on content this week.
Yeah.
Content.
I mean, I guess I can talk about it. I did see Ingam again, and I guess I don't want to talk about the movie more. I just talk about the contrasting experiences. Is all.
Okay.
I don't know if that's my phone or not.
That might have been mine, but mine has not made a noise in years.
It might be this one. This is a GSM phone. That's usually that does it.
Oh, I just set mine over there, and mine
Yeah, but you're on Verizon, right?
it bounces between.
Oh, that's right. You're on Goofy.
Yeah, goofy. Yeah, so it bounces between
Yeah.
any
I mean,
available.
this is Verizon, so it
It's like
shouldn't
Allstate.
interfere with anything.
I'm gonna walk around for a sec.
No? Yeah, if I die, fall out. Well, if you're dead, who cares?
We'll carve an X on your head.
Yeah. Well, the Wings House are coming to investigate you.
Hey, podcast. Just you and me. This doesn't usually happen. But I just want to tell you that I think you're all swell people. Please keep it up. Don't stop being swell. And eat more vegetables. That's all. Secret of life right there. It's for you. It's like it's just you and me applying the lip balm. This is a shirt from the Pinball Palace in Brunswick, Georgia. Sweet, sweet, delicious smelling Brunswick, Georgia. It's actually an awesome. The place is awesome. The town, less so. It's okay. It's gotten better. Doesn't stink as much like ass as it once did. Since most of the paper mill places have shut down. Since nobody uses paper anymore. What the fuck's paper? But yeah, if you ever happen to be in Brunswick, Georgia, check out the Pinball Palace. It's pretty fucking sweet. So, how about that Game of Thrones or stuff? Yeah, how about that Liverpool? Am I right, lads?
Yeah.
What, did they win, like a cup?
Beat Barcelona
Yeah, they beat Barcelona
4-0
4-0.
to advance to the Champions League final.
Yeah, way to go, Champions League finalist Liverpool. I am now placating to some people, though I have no idea.
There you go. I helped you out.
Yeah, thanks. I had to correct your pronunciation of Barcelona, though.
Sorry, Barcelona.
Yeah, thank you.
Barcelona. I was just trying to make it, so that you could hear it. Mm-hmm. Hello, Indie Phantom. How are you today?
Are you like an independent phantom? Or I guess it would be INDY if you're from Indianapolis. So I'm going to go with independent phantom.
We watched Cats Don't Dance. Meow. Meow, 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 meow. I also have a Pinball Palace t-shirt, but I did not wear mine today. Obviously, I wore this.
Oh, why
Yeah. You gotta pronounce it right. Correct.
Pronunciation correctly.
Sí.
Ibiza.
It's actually more of a Cuban pronunciation.
Ah.
So you really slur the fuck out of it. Hello, Arkham Knight Rider. Welcome to the live stream. I hope you are enjoying yourself and others. I read that as, I'm in China at the moment, working from Canada. And I was like, the fuck you are? What's wrong with you? But no, it is my own failure to read. We should read all of our PayPal emails in the second half.
Okay.
Like,
So do you
hey, blank, big news for your business. Blank first name, blank last name. Apply for a PayPal business so-and-so.
So I'm curious, does anyone know anything about this Watchmen HBO thing?
I do.
Like, is it continuing it? Is it retelling it? Like,
All right, so
It's going to be on HBO.
I mean, I'm just looking at the
Rorschach
cast.
turned in at the end of the movie, like he gave up the ledger or the diary, or he had something
Right.
that he published, or
he mailed it to the newspaper.
yeah. This is like a generation after that.
Okay.
So like all the cops have to wear masks because they're. It's a continuation. It's like a weird alternate.
So I mean, is this like based on what did they do? Wasn't called After Watchmen? They
Maybe.
did a
I don't know.
continuation comic.
I don't know. I don't know.
So
if
what
it's
did he
part
do?
that,
Like, he
part-
exposed all the people that were doing bad things
I think so.
or something? I don't know.
Well, I mean, Ozymandias was like part of the team, but was really the mastermind behind all the bullshit.
Yeah.
And yeah. So like, but yeah, I mean, because actually, Rorschach got vaporized at the end. So.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, spoilers for a 30-year-old comic book.
Whatever. Deal with it.
30.
I don't remember.
5 years old.
But yeah, it's not.
I
it's
barely
not-
remember anything.
It's
except,
definitely
like,
not a
Blue
retelling.
Dong.
And there was no Blue Dong in the trailer. Just a lot of Don Johnson.
Belong.
Just a different kind
There
of
was
Blue Dong.
different kind of Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, Dr. Manhattan should be around still. I don't know.
They're playing this pretty close to their vest. They're
Oh, looks like I guess.
not really wanting to give away a lot.
Yeah, I was just curious because it says like a modern retelling. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it seems like a continuation. They may do like flashbacks to events of the Watchmen. I don't know. The trailer was interesting.
Oh, I haven't watched it. I just saw it pop up on the IMDb here. All right. Well, shall we do this and go home? I mean,
There
Yeah.
is there is an
Be home.
email from like a month ago. I don't know if it's a month. Let me see. It's an email from our old buddy Eric. Not that Eric. From April 28th. Did we read that? Time Under Fire? Is that? Yes. It's an email from 2014 from your mom.
Whoa. Take it easy.
Wait. What's Rocket Man?
the Elton John movie,
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
or
Right.
the Harlan Williams movie.
It's not that.
Why can't it be both?
Ooh, we have a voicemail from April 26th. Did we listen to that? It's about Alita Battle Angel.
Oh. No, skip these.
Skip what? Okay.
Yeah. don't-
Wait for Mackie to come back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
He reads faster than me anyway.
We'll just talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Then go home.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know if I need to see a Rocket Man or need to see an Elton John biopic.
It always feels weird. Like,
Seems weird that he's still alive.
yeah, that's what I was
Right.
about to say. We haven't. I don't think we've had a biopic in a while where the person was still alive.
I'll just
Yeah.
go watch Selena again. It's the only good biopic.
I mean the
Hey,
What's Love got to do with it was
Selena.
weird because like it just Tina Turner just showed up at the end of that. She just morphed into actual Tina Turner but yeah, it just seems weird when they're still alive. I don't know why. It feels like they're just going to show up at the end and go, "Yep, all true." See you around, kids.
I'm Elton John, and all of this was true.
Well, Ali came out when he was still alive, right? I mean,
Yes, but
yeah,
you know,
Yes, but
I know. I mean, I don't. He had Parkinson's. I don't think that affects your thinking. Just you can't control your,
I don't know.
muscles and stuff.
He was pretty punchy starting in the early 80s.
Yeah, I mean, the dude took a lot of blows to the head before we realized concussions were a
starting with
problem.
like his comeback fights, he was
Yeah, he
fucked
was
up.
he was not he should not have been in the ring. Like
No.
good god, no.
I was just trying to think of other biopics that came out before the person died.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the rest
Yeah.
of Queen is still alive.
True.
Yes.
Fair enough. Yeah. But I mean, that was really pretty much a Freddie Mercury biopic.
Yes.
Sure.
I wonder if it
Can't wait till all of them die and we can get the real biopic.
Kind of wondering,
biopic.
like, can we have a? I mean, it's sort of inevitable whenever a famous person dies. So you have to think someone's going to do a Prince biopic at some point in time. But I want it to.
I want Eddie Murphy to play Prince.
All right. Don't you mean Dave Chappelle?
Yes,
I
I
mean,
meant Dave Chappelle. Yeah.
But I was gonna
Sorry, my brain went to
I mean,
Charlie Murphy.
Yeah, it was like.
Yeah, I want Dave Chappelle. I want Charlie Murphy to play Dave Chappelle playing Prince.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Well, I was gonna say, like, could we get
Charlie
like,
Murphy is no longer with us.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Julie Tremor. I want her to direct it.
Okay.
The person who did like Titus and Across the Universe, like Crazy Color.
Okay.
Like, I want it to be like what I think is Rocket Man's going to be, where it's like it just goes full musical. That's what it looks like. It looks like there's just flights of fancy shit that's in that movie. So I want that to be in the Prince one. Like I want at least half of the movie to be in Prince's head, the way he saw the world, which is probably fucking trippy as hell.
When are we gonna get like? So Prince can no longer stop that Kevin Smith thing from being released.
Except it's somewhere in his archives.
Yes.
Kevin Smith did not retain that.
Right, but Prince himself can no longer
True.
keep us from seeing that.
Correct.
The estate
But
of
his
Prince.
estate is probably same reason we haven't gotten a Michael Jackson biopic yet.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's the only reason.
yeah.
Yes.
We just got some bio shit on.
Right, but I
Michael
mean,
Jackson
like,
and-
someone would come along and make a biopic that would probably have a bunch of that stuff in it, and the estate is not going to approve that. They probably have all image rights on lockdown
But-
for like 200 years.
We can start petitioning the family to release that thing.
Well, that's the thing is,
Yeah.
like, whenever they unlock the vaults of Paisley Park, it's going to be fucking insane. Not just that, but apparently that dude had 500 albums worth of shit.
He just recorded like an album a week.
I mean, that's one of the things Kevin Smith was talking about, is like every room was mic'd up so that if inspiration took him, he could just start recording in any room with whatever acoustics.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I actually was looking at...
I think they're getting ready to release a Prince album of...
Well, they did release one. There was that...
Is it the originals of all the songs that people made
like
popular?
a piano and a microphone. Is that the one?
maybe.
I think they did put that out like early last year, where I think that's where they finally were like, here's his original version of Nothing Compares to You.
Yeah.
I don't think it was specifically like just ones that other people made more famous, but it was just some lost recordings.
We're gonna start getting Prince albums
yeah,
like
absolutely.
Tupac albums.
Yeah,
it's
seriously.
gonna be like Jesus. I thought this guy was dead.
It's going to be exactly like Jesus.
Yeah.
He's going to come out of his hole and see his shadow, and then 6 more weeks of Prince.
Yeah, 6 minutes to midnight. Pretty sure it's the rest of the Jesus story.
7 minutes in heaven.
2 minutes to midnight.
And we're back to Watchmen.
Yes. Let's do a second half.
Oh, all right.
No, that was good.
No, I don't know why. We were talking about going places that, going crazy places. Like we were talking about, like, man, we should go to Memphis pinball thing so that we can have an excuse to go to Graceland.
Yep.
And I was like, you can take tours of Paisley Park. Why the fuck have I not made that my goddamn life's mission to go there and do that?
We could go to that Midwest Gaming Classic, and then
What time of the year is that?
who cares?
I do, because it's fucking Minneapolis. Have you ever been there?
Yes, I've been there in the winter.
Okay, I don't want to be.
Okay. Well, we're going to be inside playing video games, except for when we go to Paisley Park.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
April.
Oh, that's fine. Should have thought by then.
April.
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 All right.
By the way, everybody's fucking knocking off April, and I think you should knock it off, everybody.
Yeah.
What? What are we
There's a
doing?
bunch of people knocking off April. Yeah.
In April. They did
Yeah.
April.
Bunch of people did Aprils.
Oh, April. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you know.
Listen,
I thought
Mark.
people were just like.
Did I stutter?
I thought people were just
April.
like fucking. Fuck you, April.
Yeah.
Like just taking that page in their calendar, like
Yeah.
fuck you.
You take the piss, April.
Get in the fucking sea, April.
There's no April. It's March and then May. Fuck you. It's not time for A months. Yeah.
Fun.
We have fun here.
We do.
Here we go. All right, welcome back.
Hey, BMFcast. This is the second half.
Is it? It's going to be a truncated second
This
half.
is the second part.
Well, we always say that, and then we end up like piddling around about something for way too long.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to talk about a TV show for 20 minutes. Let's go.
Okay. I only want to. I'll start only in that. I said we weren't going to talk about our theater experiences when we were talking about in-game last week, and don't worry, there is no spoilers. This is wholly about the cinema experience. Just to give you backstory, I went on opening night, and somebody thought it was a great idea to bring a 2-year-old along to a 3+ hour movie experience on the first showing, the first night, and that went about as well as you can imagine.
Based on your description, I think it was a younger child than that. Like, based on your description of the noises.
Maybe.
Which, I mean, any child from
Yeah.
0 to
5.
10?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Even at least 5 or older. I mean, just to the age that when you say shut up, it registers and they shut up. Yeah. There should be a certain age where I understand that.
There ought to be a fucking law.
I want to shut up for I fear for my own life.
Right.
Anyway, it was bad, and except for the final act, which, the kid finally fell asleep, and the audience reactions were everything that you wanted them to be. But I basically couldn't enjoy the movie properly because of how shitty the overall experience was. Chuck also had a similarly terrible theater experience.
Oh, mine was worse.
Yeah. Arguably.
Chuck almost caught on fire.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to concede yours was worse. Because you're watching. I'm saying your watching of the movie was unimpeded. Once it
Except for when it was impeded.
Twice.
Okay.
And then got downgraded to the shitbox theater.
Right. But I'm saying when you were watching the movie, when it started and it played all the way through, people were behaving as they were supposed to, correct?
The second showing that day that I took off work to see Endgame, the second showing played fine.
Okay.
It is equivalent to when you went back to see Endgame and no one made bap noises.
Right. Okay. I'm just getting at that I went and saw it again.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just kind of bizarre because it was almost the exact opposite experience. Like, almost no reactions to anything. Like, full packed to the gills theater. And I don't know if I was just at a showing where everyone was like, I'm going to see it again time, and reactions would have been forced or disingenuous, but I still wanted to react, but everyone was just like being quiet. There was one exception that was a different reaction from the first time that was funny because of how quiet it had been. I can't really say what it was and what it was to, because that would be
Somebody
spoilers.
just get up and go, fuck you.
It was I'll tell you off air, but
Okay.
it's I don't know. I feel like the world, like the fucking moratorium on spoilers, not by me. I'm playing by. I feel like the moratorium on spoilers is fucking over for the internet.
It
because
was
everywhere,
up like
everywhere it's like,
Sunday night.
God. Thanks to this, and oh man, what'd you think of this? And here's these
Oh,
people.
man.
Like I just feel like it's fucking everywhere now. But anyway, I'm still maintaining it. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to be the one that does it.
People now have taken the biggest moments in that movie and have added alternative soundtracks to them. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I saw one today where I was just like, really?
Yeah.
Like, what about this huge moment in Endgame, but what if it had this bit of music instead? I think it would go a little something like this.
But yeah, I mean, it was good to see, because like I realized I missed an entire lead up to a plot thread because it was either when I was yelling at these people to make their child shut up, or just sitting there stewing in my own anger. Because,
the part when Thanos drove the Thanos truck off of that cliff.
yeah, it was full of tacos and Deadpool. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was good.
But yeah, but no, I totally missed like a plot thing, like not a big moment, just like I was watching a scene and I was like, I don't know how or why they got here, like kind of thing.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, because like I totally missed like the setup for it, and I'm like, I have no idea what's happening right now except I'm going along with it. But yeah, anywho, just very different experience. BJ, I have another thing to talk about, but I don't want to monopolize. So.
I don't really have much to talk about except for Game of Thrones. Everybody is watching it.
This is true.
Yeah, but also so many people are live tweeting what is going on Game of Thrones, and I cannot believe how much of a thing that is. It's so weird how that is just the instant a scene is on TV, it's okay to spoil all of that.
That show is basically like a live event. Like if you were watching a football game.
It's like if you're watching WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's like WrestleMania every Sunday.
You were just live tweeting it, and
it's weird. I don't say a fucking thing. I haven't said anything about Thrones or Endgame because I don't want to be that guy for anybody. But I think if it wasn't so taboo to have your phone out in a theater, if you wouldn't like get physically assaulted for having your phone out in a theater,
people would
live tweet. Yeah, the movie is the first showing. Somebody would live tweet it, and then you would get the thread retweeted into your timeline, and it would be spoiled instantly for you. There also seems to be a weird backlash against anti-spoiler culture. People are like, "Oh, this spoiler culture thing has gone too far."
Yeah.
And I'm like, A, fuck you. B, like, we never used to have the ability to get spoiled like this. It used to take some asshole kid coming into the lunchroom on, Monday morning and go, "I saw Starship Troopers." Here's how it ends.
just because I just happened to watch this
Or
today,
whatever.
I was watching a clip
Starship Troopers?
I think it was back from the Last Jedi press tour, but I was watching a Graham Norton clip, and it was Mark Hamill, Daisy Ridley, and John Boyega sitting on the couch, and Mark Hamill was telling a story about first Star Wars. It was like nobody gave a fuck. They were like, they didn't know that movie was going to be a big thing. He was like, he had the full script. He was like giving his friends like, "Look at this fucking shit I'm about to be in," kind of thing. Like, "Oh, you mind if I show?" Nah, go ahead and show her. I don't give a shit. And like by the time the second one came around, it was like they actually wrote the wrong information in the script they gave everybody about the big reveal. I mean, about who his father is. I mean, it's not a fucking spoiler anymore. And like they actually the original thing that
Mr.
was
Hamill. Right?
what the original thing that was in the script was that like Obi-Wan killed your father. And that's what everyone thought was the big reveal. Like, oh shit, your fucking mentor killed your dad. And so like George Lucas, Irvin Kershner, and Mark Hamill were the only ones that knew the actual line, and it was a closed set, and
because they dubbed in James Earl Jones.
Yeah,
So.
Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, no one else knew, and like he was just he does an amazing Harrison Ford impression, Mark Hamill, if you've ever heard it, and he was just like, "I can't believe you didn't tell me this, kid." But it's just, I'm just saying, like, once that's the kind of links people used to have to go to for this, and just
I saw
hold it inside.
Something started making the rounds. It was from the original press tour for Star Wars. It was a George Lucas interview, and it was like in the LA Times or something like that. It was just some big interview with him, and he just beat for beat told the entire movie Star Wars in this article. Like, here's what you're going to see. Okay, it's about this kid, and and they blow up the thing at the end, and it's like, the hell? Like, if that ever happened today, like, that director would never work again.
Well, you saw that one of the things in the press kit was was it Empire? Like Empire
Jedi had
Jedi
handwritten notes.
Handwritten note on everything that happens in that movie.
Yep.
So the journalist before the movie even comes out has every single plot point, every single important plot point from that movie.
Yep.
I don't know what all got printed, but those press kits go out way before the before the movies go out, and a lot of them have just beat by beat plot information in them, and that's wild to think that would happen. They don't even have scripts for, like, Endgame. I think didn't have any paper scripts.
Robert Downey Jr. is the only one that had the entire script.
Yeah,
everyone
RDJ
else
had the entire script. Everybody else either had iPads on set or earpieces to be fed their lines.
Most of them have said it's the most disjointed. Like, that's another reason why I'm amazed that Endgame is as good as it is, because they all filmed so much stuff out of context.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even know what they were saying or to whom or what it was even in reference to.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. I mean, that's a skilled group of actors to pull that off, having absolutely no fucking idea who they're even talking to.
Which, mild amendment, and I'm still going to keep it spoiler-free. We were discussing last week in our spoiler-filled half about Spider-Man Far From Home, and there's a new trailer for that, which 100% solves that little debate we had.
Yep.
I like that they had
they had Tom Holland
in the beginning. We're like,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen Endgame yet, don't watch this trailer.
It's literally the first 5 seconds of that trailer is the biggest Endgame spoiler it could possibly be.
Right. Yep.
And it's just like, oh, well, all right.
Which is, I'll go back to I'm really surprised because Spider-Man isn't MCU proper. That I'm surprised that they were like, okay, Sony, you can make a Spider-Man movie that takes place after this. This is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm surprised with the way that crazy level of control was. That they were like, here, you're going to make a movie post this thing that we are keeping a tight lid on.
So those are actually made by Sony.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Marvel has interaction in the what happens kind of thing, but it's like
Gotcha.
Sony's got
the
rights.
Spider-Man propers are still in Sony's hands.
Yeah.
So, but Sony had to have just been like, yeah, we need to feed off of that, your giant mega buster movie as much as possible. So come work with us, And it's probably referenced in a few scenes and then not.
Sure.
Like I can't be a running theme throughout the whole thing. There's no way.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost feel like
there was a trailer before Endgame,
Yeah.
with a
that
totally
was
different tone.
Drastically
different,
tone.
I feel like I would not be surprised to after it comes out we learn that anything that was Endgame spoilery, the Russos actually shot it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's like
that they were like, okay, post game Endgame, we're going to send you these, and then you can put them in your movie at the right points.
It's like James Gunn handling the Guardian stuff in Infinity War and stuff like that. It was just like, no, I got this. This is
Yeah. But anyway, that's all I really want to say about that.
Yeah.
That's an interesting concept, like co-directing insert pieces. Somebody actually in the live stream chat brings up a good question. When is it ever the right time to talk about spoilers? By that I mean spoilers for old movies like The Usual Suspects and Empire Strikes Back. Is it ever okay? And that is from the fake BJ.
I mean, Empire Strikes Back. It's like if you don't know that by now, you've been living. I want to go live under the rock you've been living.
Yeah, if you're waiting for like the Rian Johnson trilogy before you start your Star Wars journey.
Rian, we're going Rian.
Yeah,
it's just Ryan.
Rian.
It's just Ryan.
Rihanna.
Okay.
Rihanna.
Yes, Rihanna's going to do a new Star Wars trilogy.
Yes, she can do anything.
It'll be I'll be under her umbrella.
It'll be Riri and Ray.
Right. Anyway, Rian Johnson. Sorry.
Riri and Ray, directed by Ryan.
Reen.
Yes.
Rhiannon.
If you're waiting for
It's
those movies to come
Ryan's Star
out,
Wars.
and then you're like, I'm going to watch all 15 Star Wars movies, no, fuck you.
And also, the new thing is, we're done. After Episode 9 comes out, we're done with Star Wars Skywalker shit. We have to be. If we're not, fucking pull the plug. Like, it cannot have anything to do with a Skywalker after Episode 9.
It's the rise of Skywalker.
I think that's a ruse. I honestly think that is a.
You don't even think that's the actual title of the movie?
No, I think that's the actual title of the movie. I just think that it's a thing that they knew they were doing that would piss people off, and it's not going to be what the people who are pissed off think it's going to be.
I have an idea of what it is.
Oh, I'm not even speculating. I'm saying, like, if there's another trilogy, it better not have anything to do with any characters we know.
That has
That's
been
what I
the
mean.
plan. However, I will say that like when they've been talking about making Star Wars games, and everyone has tried to branch out and not do the same shit, those games always get shut down. And it's like, no, you have to put lightsabers and Darth Vader in it.
It can deal with. I mean, he's probably going to be making an Old Republic trilogy.
Probably.
I mean, most likely. I mean, if it gets you all the things you want, your lightsabers and all that, and
References.
yeah. But I mean, it's like, I'm just saying it can deal with Jedi or whatever. I don't particularly care about that. I'm not like, I just want to go see a Twi'lek dancer that that's on Tatooine. I wanted to watch a trilogy about her. I'm not like that. Like, I know that's not going to sell as a Star Wars thing, but
Right.
I'm just saying it cannot. You can't have like fucking R2-D2 show up. You can't, like, you've got to make a divorced from the Skywalker Star Wars shit, because it's a big fucking galaxy, and there can be other Jedis or whatever shit, but not the ones we know.
I mean, in theory, you could potentially spoil something for somebody at any time. At any time, there's going to be someone who's like, I haven't started my Star Wars journey yet. You fucked me over.
Yeah.
But
Rick and Elsa do not end up together.
But like, you got to weigh like the cultural significance with you waiting forever to do a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I understand if you're 12 or something like that, but if you're an adult and you're just consuming internet content,
stuff that is like huge cultural touchstones.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, the spoiler shirt and all those things. Like, if it's on there and you don't know about it like this, like, you've had your chance. Like, nobody that made that like spoiler montage shirt is like, those are all things that you should know. Like, Darth Vader's Luke's dad. You know, the Rosebud's the sled. You know, it's all the ones that are like, if you don't fucking know this by now, what the shit? Like, where have you know?
I mean, fucking Family Guy just made Star Wars in Family Guy form.
No, how did
So-
that fucking happen?
Because it's a Fox property.
Foxerty.
But I mean, you know, that thing has been.
Yeah. I feel. I don't know if there's a, like a specific number of years or something like that, but once something kind of becomes part of the culture,
Like when Brenda in Encounter is going, "I am your father." It's like,
Yeah.
okay, fuck. If she knows it, then everybody fucking
Yeah.
knows
Right.
it.
But I mean, it's like everyone like what's the one line of dialogue everyone says from Seven?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Right. Because everyone has now focused on the ending of that movie, and everyone knows, although there's still some weird ass debate some people have about the ending of that movie about what is and what is not in the box.
All right.
But
Well, I mean,
it's a dick.
only. Yeah, step
Step
one.
one.
Yeah.
Got a hole in the box.
Yeah.
2.
it's
Dick
a
in the
dick.
All right, just because,
It
You wanna
stinks.
just because, and I'm not. This is not me pointing fingers or calling out anything. I gotta. You spoiled a movie
Oh,
on here.
Oh,
Descent?
fuck the
Yeah.
Descent. Yes.
No. I'm gonna say something about it. It's like that was wrong because that's not a super popular movie.
It was just wrong in general. I was
Well-
doing it to be a dick, and I apologize for
Well,
that.
I'm saying like that it was a couple years old, and you could make the argument of like what's the number of years, but it's also zeitgeist. Like you have to, like okay, like this movie made $600 million. Most people saw it, and the ending is out there, and you can't fucking avoid it.
Yeah.
That was a smaller movie that you didn't enjoy, and you're like, man, here's the ending. You know.
Yep, I did. I did that.
It's not.
I apologize.
This is not me pointing fingers. I'm pointing out that like age doesn't necessarily mean anything. Like if
No, I
if a
agree.
movie's sort of like lesser known.
Yeah. I just like, talking about Dirty Harry earlier. It's like if someone was like, I'm going to tell you the ending of the 4th Dirty Harry movie, I'd be like, yeah, maybe. I don't know if I've seen that or I remember that. Maybe don't.
Yeah.
But also it's just like, yeah, okay, it has been 35 years. Maybe I should have seen it by now. But yeah, I mean, I get that. But I just think like, man, if someone comes at you for spoiling Empire Strikes Back, fuck off.
Well, I mean, this is going to be me on old man soapbox again for a second, but part of this feels like both the arguments for spoilers and the backlash against the spoiler culture and all of this. I feel like this is something that couldn't have happened. A, because the internet facilitates the direct injection of spoilers into your eyes nearly immediately, but also ever since it came around, we were touted that like the internet is your playground. That it's everybody is their own thing and they're all important, and it precipitated this first culture, like the first comment thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like it's that same asshole mentality that makes the spoilers happen in the first place. Like I saw this movie first, I've got to go out and tell everybody because that'll prove that I saw it. And it's like,
Well, it's the only reason stuff has gotten stolen. Like
Right.
like when people like got that copy of Game of Thrones last season from the production house or whatever.
Right.
It was only because there's the internet.
and I'm not talking about the accidental, like I am super excited about this and I'm be excited about it, but find someone who has also seen it. Like, don't be like, oh, you haven't seen Endgame? Well, remember this happens, and then that was awesome, but this happens. Like, dude, I just told you I haven't seen it. I can't share in your joy, and anything you're saying now is misdirected because you're now just being an asshole that's, splooging your joy all over me when it's not what I want.
Well,
Yeah.
speak for yourself.
Well, that's what I mean. It's all part of what's the tragedy that is the internet.
But
basically,
here's the thing too about the people who are defending spoilers, like people should just shut up and accept that spoilers are going to happen. These are the same people who are just like, you have to accept that people are going to use their phones in movie theaters, and the times have changed, and this is what kids do.
Well, and also
like
it's
when they
also
were
the people-
arguing for teenage movie theaters where everyone could have their phones out and everything, it was just like, no, you were all the worst people.
well, it's the live tweeting thing. I mean, like,
Sure.
how much are you paying attention to the thing if you're constantly trying to come up with a joke, reference, meme while the thing is happening?
Right.
Just fucking watch it. You don't get any internet points for being the first one to post a thing. Just let it happen. When it's all over, be like, wow, man, like I've gone on my special group where we know we've all watched it and have your joygasm together.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
like I just like watch a thing, enjoy one thing is all I'm trying to say.
I,
You need to find one thing. One thing only, Billy.
I am guilty of in our Game of Thrones spoiler channel in the Discord. Like me and J-Mac, we talk about it during the episode.
Yeah, but they're very limited. Just like, oh shit, you know. I
Yeah,
mean,
there
it's
is
just,
a lot
it's,
of
it's,
oh shit.
Like I said,
But-
I'm not yucking on the yum if that's what
No,
your
no,
thing
no.
is. I'm saying like it's all part of this. Like I said, it's that first mentality,
Yeah.
and it's been around since the internet came out. Like first comment, I saw this first. Hipster, blah blah blah. I saw this before it was popular.
I just like
I
to share my
ban
live opinions with my
everyone on
friends.
YouTube who posts the first comment. They get immediately
Good.
shadow banned, and they never get their comments
Don't
published.
shadow.
again.
Can you Can you non-shadow ban them? Can you, like?
No, I like the shadow
Can you
banning
bright
better
light
'cause-
ban?
No, because they still think they're being seen.
I gotcha.
It's just their comments go into the nether void.
Do you still
Oh,
see
see-
that they comment? Like,
Only if I go into the section of here are all the muted
I gotcha.
comments, and it's just
Do
a fucking
people
row
still-
of like
do people still, like, people who have been shadow banned comment on your subsequent videos first?
yes,
That's
because
fucking
they don't know. That's the thing. They
Right.
have no idea they've been shadow
Oh, you
banned.
probably ruined so many
so
good
fucking
second jokes.
Yeah, I bet I did.
Well, I was saying like that's to me is that is kind of hilarious. Like or seventh.
Nope, I hate all of it.
I mean, if that's the only thing you write, it's not funny. But like most people will put seventh, and then what I was actually going to say is,
Okay, that's fine.
yeah, I don't know. Just,
Yeah.
like I said, it's all from that same mentality of like people think they're a fucking pioneer. It's like you're not. There's like there are no more pioneers. Like unless you can go to fucking space, you're not a goddamn pioneer.
Well, we've already been to
Or
space.
really deep into the water. You got to go up or you got to go down. Everything else is like, nope, you're not fucking
Yeah.
Lewis and Clark over here.
Yeah,
I
Fucking
would
in the
like
middle.
these people to fuck off my planet,
Sure, yeah.
That'd be fine too. Yeah,
but not before I get the chance to fuck off of my planet. I want to go to space, damn it.
okay.
Yeah, that's all. Old man rant over.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
fine.
Fantastic.
Fine.
What
What you should do is you should find if you're out there and you're one of these people who has to talk about it, you should find a place on like Discord or something where there's a spoilerific channel, and you should go there and talk about things as soon as you've seen them. That way you can talk about them and you can be all proud that you've seen it before everybody else, but you're not spoiling the experience for anybody else. It's about consent, you see.
It really is, yeah. I mean, everything is.
Yes.
Everything.
Chuck, did you ever know that you're Bill Billings' hero?
I do now.
You're the wind beneath his wings.
Hauser.
I guess, do we have anything else? Do you want to talk about TV stuff? I don't need to.
Game of Thrones got like 2 episodes left?
Two.
2 episodes left, and then we can all relax. Actually, then we can all catch up on Chernobyl, which looks like it's pretty good.
Yeah, I just
Yeah, that looks like a happy, fun time.
Yeah. I'm actually-
HBO is trying to. They
is
have
Is it like a docudrama?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. HBO is really trying to make Mondays a thing. They're like, we own Sundays. Now it's time to own Mondays. So, but like, man, I
No.
knew it was coming on the next day when they ran the commercial, and then was promptly like, "There's nothing on TV on Mondays," and then forgot all about it.
Or you
So-
could be like me and just forget to watch Game of Thrones on Sunday. Still don't know how I did that. I literally like got to work on Monday and was like, I didn't watch Game of Thrones last night. Fuck. Close Google News, close Feedly, close everything that could possibly throw me a
Can't
spoiler.
look at fucking Twitter.
Nope.
no.
Nope. I was like, well, time to look at random Wikipedia articles.
Yep.
You can't
No,
even hardly do that.
not hit
Yeah.
random. Just like,
Yeah,
let
just
me
like,
go learn about
chess.
isotopes and stuff.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be ready for Chernobyl. I got to understand
Yeah.
isotopes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
The only thing I don't want to do TV half. I will say I've started watching Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which I don't know how it took me this long to get to it because that is so very much my kind of show. And the only reason I bring it up is first I think it's fantastic so far what I've seen, which is about 8 to 10 episodes. And there's a connection to tonight's movie.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Hernandez was the prostitute who
Yep.
gets murdered in the church.
That was
All right.
looking up IMDb people today. That was one of the weirdest connections of this person in an '80s movie is now a regular on a 2019 television show.
Yep. Which she doesn't. She had speaking lines in this one. She doesn't on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. She plays the communications director of the law firm and never speaks a word.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
Didn't never mind.
All right.
Did I tell you guys that I started watching Atlanta?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I started watching Atlanta before Game of Thrones came back on, which was kind of a mistake. That show is good.
Mm-hmm.
It is not quite what I expected, but that show is good, and it seems like it's going to go places.
Oh, it does. I mean, don't expect it to have a through line per se, because it doesn't. I mean, it kind of does and it kind of doesn't.
Okay.
Like it's a weird show because I feel like it just time hops or is just completely episodic. Like not episodic, almost standalone. Like they'll just be like,
Okay.
"We're over here now. We're doing this thing, this episode."
Okay, so it's not real. There's no like overarching.
Not
Okay.
a little bit. Like you're kind of watching the rise of Paperboy and the success, but like
It just kind of happens
yeah.
while others.
and occasionally like, oh, this episode is starting right after where they were in the last one. Okay, but then it's like, here's a weird ass episode where they're doing whatever random thing like going to hell in Georgia or something.
Because a lot of that, like, a lot of the first season seems like it's kind of got a through line.
Yeah,
But
a little bit. Yeah, I mean somewhat. Second season gets real weird because I think that's like where Darius answers a Craigslist ad and all kinds of crazy shit happens.
okay.
Probably the craziest episode of that show to date.
Okay.
Yeah.
And once again, just because we're starved for content for this
Mhm.
half, somebody mentions in the live stream chat Cobra Kai. I watched like most of the first season. It's real hard to make myself give a fuck about that show.
Oh, see, I loved it. I haven't watched season 2 yet, but I adored the first season. So I'm going to watch the second season. I just haven't gotten there yet. And Doom Patrol, I've only watched one episode so far. Like I basically started that right after I watched Titans, and I was like, I need to take a break from these. But I started it, I was like, oh yeah, more of this, and I was like, I need a time out and watch something not dark and gritty superhero fucking.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to find a show like Parks and Rec or something to kind of like lift me up. I've already watched Parks and Rec so much.
So I wasn't going to talk about it, but
Yeah,
I've
you out.
watched the first 2 seasons of Parks and Rec in the last like week and a half, and that provides joy.
Mm-hmm.
That is a joyful show. There's a little bit of meanness to it on occasion, but it is not a mean-spirited show.
Right.
Generally, people get their comeuppance at least. Either it's instant karma or like it's earned karma, where it's like, yeah, fuck that guy, and eventually someone's going to say, hey, fuck that guy.
There's one character on the show who is just constantly shit on for
Jerry.
comedic effect.
Gary.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, guys, but
Yeah, except when they show his good stuff.
Yeah.
Like, have you met his wife yet?
no.
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
Yeah. When you see his how good everything is in his life, you're like, oh, okay. Gary, Jerry,
Yeah.
everything else is fine.
Gergich, Gingrich.
Yeah.
For a while, it feels like, God damn it, I wish they would stop being mean to him, because he's a fuck up, but he's trying to be nice.
Yeah.
He's trying to be as good as everybody else.
Right.
But he's just a fuck up.
Yeah.
But later on,
That it becomes deserved.
No.
No.
Later on, it just like, okay.
Yep.
Well, so like there was an episode.
You know how he just handles everything like, oh, well, I'm sorry,
Right.
that's just me.
Yeah.
You learn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there was an episode where they were all commissioned to design a new mural because like the murals had all been and he created something really awesome, but when he went up there to present it, he said murinal instead of mural, and they all just ripped him to shreds for saying that, and they're just like, get out of here, Jerry, you dumb murinal. And like his was the best one of all of them, but they're all just like, fuck, get out of here, Jerry.
God, I love their
I think-
original murals. They're just so horrific. It's
Oh
so
my
good.
god.
I think that happens. I think something like that happens to him like 3 or 4 times throughout the
Okay.
series.
Well, yeah, God, every time they're just like,
Mural.
let's go on a tour of the building, and they just go to this fucking horrific mural where like they've tied an Indian to a tree and shot him with a cannon at point blank range. It's like, Jesus Christ. We're not laughing at that.
I
It's
know.
just
Right.
like the
just-
horrific racism, and it's just like, well, it's part of our town.
And
What
it's
are you
all-
gonna do?
And it's all done by like the local
Yeah.
muralist.
Yes.
I mean, it's in perfect like municipal mural format
Right.
too. That's what's
It's
so
like
good about it.
you wouldn't really glance
if you
at
just
it.
walked by it,
Yeah,
you'd have
just
no
like,
idea.
yeah, it's a mural in a place. Like, wait, what?
Oh, it's so good.
Here's the first town interracial wedding between this Indian chief and this white lady, and they all died 4 seconds later. And it's just crowds of people on the outer edges of this mural running in to murder them. Oh my God!
All right, so I know
God,
I know
love
you,
Parks and Recs.
I know you have a lot of Parks and Rec to go, but please,
Burt Macklin, you son of a bitch.
please, if you haven't started them, I mean, I would say the easiest thing to do would be watch The Good Place afterwards because
Okay.
it's the same producer.
Okay.
But then please start watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like,
Okay.
if you want more joy in your
Yeah.
life, you need to add those two shows to your lineup.
Yep.
I mean, get through Parks and Rec. I'm saying, like, when you're
don't worry.
when you're done, you have those waiting for you.
I am chugging through Parks and Rec.
Yeah. There's a part late seasons that gets kind of difficult. Like I got upset at the show when I was like, why would you do this? This is stop it. And then the resolution of it is makes it worth it.
Okay.
So when you get to that point in late seasons, there's also one point where they jump ahead in time like 3 years.
Oh.
I think it's the very last episode, isn't it?
No, it's like the last season.
Oh.
I think it's the last season. They jump ahead in time.
Oh yeah, you're right.
3
yeah,
years.
Yeah. Because I think the very last episode they're like, what about 10 years later or something like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Parks and Rec is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Ann Perkins, you perfect land mermaid.
Right now, so I am in the early Rob Lowe stages, and right now Rob Lowe is just walking around pointing at people's faces, saying their names. Ann Perkins.
Ann Perkins. Yeah.
And I've started doing this to people in my office.
It was literally the best thing ever.
Literally.
Yeah, he does over enunciate a lot of words like that.
I'm in perfect health. No one in the world is healthier than me. God, he fucking nails whatever that is
Yeah.
that is
I mean,
going on
it's
with
just
that character.
it's an extension of his character from Wayne's World, basically.
So I'm watching this show. It's like 12:30 in the morning, and it's the one where they all get the flu.
Oh,
And
yes.
so he is he didn't think he was going to get the flu, but of course he has no body fat, so he's like, there's nothing here to protect me, and he instantly is just the sickest man alive. And so it's this mini montage of him being sick, and there's just 12 seconds of him looking in a mirror, talking to himself, and he just says, "Stop pooping." With all intense seriousness of Rob Lowe acting the shit out of it, and I fucking died. I no doubt woke up the entire household.
Yeah.
Oh man, maybe I need to rewatch Parks and Rec for
So
like
good.
the fifth time.
The
this
show's
decade.
so good. Like, I haven't gotten to an episode where I was like, I mean, I understand binge watching them is a different monster, but like, there hasn't been an episode yet where I wasn't like, that shit was hilarious. So.
Yeah, I routinely find myself. I'm not a guy who like laughs a lot in private. Like I will think things are funny.
Yeah,
but
same
I
here.
just go.
Yeah.
You know, I do the little out the nose and
Right.
and move on with my life. But Parks and Rec, I routinely laugh out loud watching.
Yep.
The same with like Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
There was
Good Place.
there was something in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and the problem with binge watching is I've promptly forgotten what
Yeah.
it was.
Yes.
Like, I stopped, had to rewind it. I was like, did what I think just happened happen? And I played it back, and I was like, holy shit, and I just started dying laughing. But yeah, that's the problem with binge watching, because like all these other ones, I watch them week to week, and it's like, oh, okay, that scene, because I remember it, because I've had a week to mull on how funny that was.
Yep.
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, like back to back, it's like, oh shit, that was really funny, but now I can't even remember what the context was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
and for a week-to-week show that is technically not an ongoing storyline, it is very good at telling an ongoing story without it being lost on a week-to-week television show.
Yes.
The through lines are very simplistic, and so you easily retain the information, even like you took a
Yeah.
break from the show.
We've got like the city's in financial crisis, the pit,
Yep.
Ann Perkins.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I mean, some other stuff like later on they will introduce other long stories, but there's always like you pick up on what's going on early in the episode. There are a bunch of really good jokes and then credits. and the plot moves along a little bit.
Yeah, and
It's good sitcom. Like it's
Right.
not one of these like, I think I've talked about this before, but it feels like a lot of TV shows are every season is a big storyline that you have to watch every episode or you're fucking lost.
thanks, Lost.
Yeah, thanks, Lost. But there are shows like Brooklyn Nine-Nine that do it well. I think even The Good Place, I feel like you have to watch every episode of that.
absolutely. That is
or you're fucking
anything
gone.
like that. That one actually like says like each episode is like chapter something of whatever. And if they
Right.
do that, it's like like you don't skip a chapter in a book. Why would you skip an episode of the show?
Well, you don't skip chapters of books.
Okay, I just
Neither do I.
another thing I've been watching. I never got around to watching the last season of the Venture Brothers. It's one of those weird things. Like when it came out, I was like all excited, and I was like, God damn it, it's going to be like 4 years before they make another season. Even if they, it's always like in peril of getting canceled because, because like how long it takes them to make a season. But I was like, I'm not going to watch this right away. I'm going to let it until I really need a fix. I'm going to. So I finally started watching it, and I just got. There was one thing like when it happened, it was kind of funny. There's just without any context, there's a group of like the old version of the super team that is kind of like the retired basically, and one of them just like out of nowhere has a stroke, and like because he's a big beefy like super old but like big beefy Superman looking guy, and he's just standing there and he clutches his chest and he goes toast and then falls over and so it's kind of funny at first and like that's all he does. But every episode like at the end when the credits like are like they will always pick like one sound clip,
Right.
and so like it used to be like they always did the William Street Anvil sound for the Cartoon Network thing, and then like but now they've just started substituting a sound clip from the show, and like that came at the end and just once again it goes toast, and I'm like I just fucking lost it. I just like it was so much funnier the second time. Yeah. I don't know.
That's some bad hat, Harry.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all.
Yeah.
Fremulon. Sit, Ubu, sit.
Sure. Production
Yeah.
company logo sounds. All right. We're done.
Yeah, BMFcast.com, patreon.com/BMFcast, BMF at BMFcast.com, 9105JocksBMF or 910-556-9263. Go to the website, join the Discord, give us money on Patreon, buy a t-shirt, Big Cartel, bearsuitstudios.bigcartel.com. Then Harlow says,
What do I say?
let's get out of here, shall we?
Oh, that was a setup. I didn't realize we were done with contact information.
Harlow says.
The Larch.
Yeah. How not to be seen.
Then,
That would be us soon.
then Harlow says,
Well, let's get out of here, shall we?
yes.
Let's. I'm Harlow.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And this is BMFcast out. See you next time. Gadget, next time.
I needed just a little bit of punctuation, and I would have known you were done with contact information. I was like,
And
so I
Harlow
go,
says.
so I go to the website and I give money and I buy a T-shirt all at once.
Yeah. Yes, all at once. Do everything. Oh, you didn't know?
I didn't, but now I do.
You better ask somebody. I'm going to start doing that now. You go to the website, you buy a T-shirt, then Harlow says,
Let's get out, shall we?
let's.
So I'm Carbco.
I'm the Smarks. No,
I'm Slacky. And
I'm,
Yeah.
Flappy Smacky.
Lieb J. I don't remember what we came up with.
All I remember is I'm Harbco. I'm a huge dumbass.
Yeah, that's us. We're all dumbasses. I mean, all of us, not just in this room. We're all dumbasses. No offense. You're also swell, but you're still dumbass.
Slappy Macky.
It is the human condition to be dumbasses. Good night.